Hi, I'm Elena from Reclaim Your Body Guide, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to increase the range of motion of the respiratory diaphragm by allowing it to descend more when you breathe in. And in this way you're going to use more of the lowest portion of your lungs, which is very important. First, because the lungs, like everything else in the body, atrophy if we don't use them. And second, breathing into the lowest part of the lungs is relaxing. It kind of balances the nervous system by promoting more parasympathetic rest and digest response. So, in order to benefit from these exercises, you need to be familiar with what is a neutral pelvis and a neutral rib cage, and you need to have practiced the psoas release, the ribs release, as well as the crocodile breathing, which is going to make your tissues around your chest a little bit more yielding to the next set of exercises that we are going to do. Now, in order to help the diaphragm descend more with the in-breath, the first thing we need to do is stop holding tension in the belly. So by sucking the belly in or trying to activate the core unnecessarily, we actually decrease the volume of the abdominal cavity. And when we decrease the volume of the abdominal cavity, we don't decrease the contents of the abdominal cavity, which means that those contents push, and one of the directions they have available to push in is up. And when the contents of the abdominal cavity push up, your diaphragm cannot descend as low as it's supposed to be. So we're going to take a breath in, and with the breath out, we are just going to let the belly go, which basically looks like this. So breath in, and then let the belly all go forward. And just notice how your body feels as you do that, because there is a difference in the sensation of the body when you do this and when you do this. Now, your diaphragm may not want to descend to start with, because as a muscle it adapts to the position that we spend most of our time in. So just be patient and give it time to readjust to your new behavior, to the new environment that you have created for it. You can do this exercise on all fours too, like on hands and knees on the floor, where you're going to feel it more, because you're going to have the additional help from gravity. And I will link in the description of this video, I will link a video that I'm demonstrating this, so belly release on all fours. The next thing we can do is to lengthen and strengthen the sides of the abdomen, so the waist. And one way to do that is by performing a simple axial spinal twist with a neutral pelvis and a neutral rib cage. So you have achieved your neutral pelvis. If you don't want how to do that, watch my videos. You have achieved your neutral rib cage, and now you're going to ramp up the head, and you're just going to turn to one side, maintaining the neutrality of your spine. And then when you reach your range of motion, you're just going to either rest here, or you can reach one arm, place it on the opposite knee, and add a little bit more of twist, making sure that you have actually performed your full range of motion using the muscles of your waist. And then it's just a little addition from the arm, rather than just torquing your body around the arm. So these are two different outcomes for the waist muscles. And now, as you've done this, you want to make sure that your ribs haven't slided to the side, or they haven't thrusted forward, or you haven't in any other way misaligned the spine. And you're just going to take a couple of breaths in your waist and in the lowest ribs, and become aware of what you experience. And when you finish, you can do that for 3 to 5 breaths. You are going to return to neutral, not by springing back, but by letting go of your arm and letting your muscles bring you back to center. And then you, of course, are going to do the same thing on the other side. Neutral pelvis, neutral rib cage, going to your full range of motion before adding your arm. And taking a couple of breaths in and out. So this is going to result in some kind of stretching, pulling sensation, most probably. And stretching doesn't make a muscle longer. It just gives your brain a signal that you might need more range of motion in this movement. But what is actually going to make your muscles longer and what is going to make them to be able to relax is the use. So you need to continually train your body to relax and contract those muscles in order to build muscle mass, as well as neurological connection between your brain and your muscles, which is going to allow you and your body to be able to more fully use this region of the body. So apart from holding this stretch or twist, you can also actively kind of move your body to the side, so rotate to one side and then to the other a few times. Of course, as everything else, make sure you don't overdo this. And just create a bit of more active range of motion with this one. You can do that on your desk, sitting on your chair. The next exercise, which is very simple but not so easy to be performed correctly, is the side bend. Now with the side bend, we want again a neutral pelvis and a neutral rib cage, and we want active bend from both sides. So one side is going to shorten and the other side is going to lengthen. Your body is going to move as if you are between two parallel surfaces, which means that you're going to go to the side without having any of that happen. If you're doing this sitting, you don't have to be mindful of your hips, but if you decide to go to the next level where you perform this standing, you want to make sure that your hips don't go to the side, so that you're not really collapsing around your joints, but you are actively using all of the muscles that you have available for this little move. I'm going to show it sitting now. And I want you to watch the pattern of my top. So I'm going to bend to my left, and you're going to notice how this is kind of actively shortening while this is actively lengthening. Of course, my ribs are in neutral, as well as my pelvis is in neutral. You're going to imagine that you bend to this side, but there is resistance. So you move through some kind of sticky substance like asphalt or something like that, like moving through concrete. And again, as with the twisting, you want to have active motion. So you want to be shortening this and lengthening this rather than just collapsing around your joints. And activity here is more important than range of motion and the pulling sensation from the stretch at the end. If you move your arm up, of course, without moving the ribs with the arm, so you just want to pick your arm and let it go up, you're going to feel more load, which actually is going to allow you to better feel this exercise. So with some exercises, it's good to start unloaded, but with this particular one, unless you experience a lot of like cramping or it's really difficult to control this motion, I recommend that you actually pick one or both arms up and you can sort of hold them. Of course, ribs are neutral, pelvis is neutral, and then the added load, the added weight of the arms is going to allow you to feel better how the muscles are loaded. And you can either stay here for a couple of breaths, breathing into both sides, or you can alternate between left and right side. And like with most other things in the body, you're going to notice that both sides are not even. Now, what I noticed when I did that is that I twisted a little to this side, so you want to avoid this. You want to reset after each bend and try to perform it in front of a mirror so that you can be sure that you are performing the bend with the maximum benefit. So again, you can either hold or you can just slowly bend to one side and then bend to the other. This is going to bring more length and more yield into these muscles, which is going to allow your diaphragm to descend more as you breathe